pricing may pick up and their operations are looking better. Mayuresh Joshi of Angel Broking is with us now. Mayuresh, good morning. Before we talk about some other stocks, do you have a view on some of these beverage stocks? Yesterday we had a big rally in McLeod Russell, even Tata Global.
Morning, Anuj. Again, I think as I was hearing the management of McLeod Russell, tea prices again are dependent on various factors. So again, I think it's a highly commoditized business, and what happens with the global tea prices or coffee prices are very much dependent in terms of how the pricing there takes off. Secondly, I think the inventory levels also have to be checked both on a global and a domestic scale. And third, and the most important factor, how is the demand shaping up? So I think it is a complex structure that we probably are not able to decipher. So I think we have a neutral view on tea and coffee stocks at this point of time.
Okay. Mayuresh, actually, how are you all approaching the markets itself? What are you all telling your trader clients as well as your investor clients? Hold back, you will get better levels to buy, or are you asking them to move in?
So again, Lata, the whole sense is that the global volatility will clearly continue over the next few weeks. What happens out of the US presidential elections will obviously start taking precedence, and with that aspect, you'll obviously see a huge amount of volatility happening in equity markets across the globe. Having said that, our own sense is that India is sweetly placed within the emerging pack, both in terms of the policy reforms initiated by the government and in terms of our currency and forex reserves. We're extremely well placed compared to our peers. Secondly, I think in terms of corporate earnings itself, our own sense is that post Q3, the earnings momentum should start picking up. And our own sense is that for the better part of FY 17-18, corporate earnings should be anywhere between 14 to 15%. The third leg probably comes from the private capex part, which is still lagging at this point of time. But our own expectations again point out that post Q3, Q4, that leg up should also start happening from the private side. So if you total all these factors together, our own sense is that from a medium-term perspective, Indian markets are looking extremely attractive. And one must also understand that they are to a certain extent pricing in under the 25 or 50 bips rate cut happening from the RBI, considering that inflation is expected to fall further because of good monsoons and the crop patterns that we've seen. So India lies in a sweet spot in our opinion. Any decline into the market should be taken as buying opportunities.
Okay. What's your view on Axis Bank and also Yes Bank? We've seen a big decline in Axis Bank from the recent top, and Yes Bank has started to move up from the recent lows.
So, Anuj, I think we remain extremely optimistic on the private banking space as a whole. Yes, I think there had been a fiasco related to the QIP for Yes Bank, and valuations also had become stretched. But largely, I think Axis Bank is something that we'll continue to prefer even at these levels. Our own sense is that the kind of asset quality pressures that a lot of these corporate-facing banks have been facing for the last few quarters, that bottom-up process shall start taking place. You have seen increase in credit cost related to assets under pressure as well, but even those will start receding over the next few quarters. And as credit growth starts picking up over the next few quarters, these banks are sweetly placed. Secondly, I think the kind of retail advance growth that we've probably seen consciously done by the managements of these corporate-facing banks to de-risk their strategies clearly playing off. So I think the names and spread should also start showing significant improvement going forward. And though valuations might look a little bit expensive compared to the public sector counterparts, our own sense is that private sector banks like an Axis should do reasonably better over the next year and a half, 2 years.
Okay. Mayuresh, just a word on, how are you looking at the NBFC stocks? Exactly what you said. The Reserve Bank has indicated a dovish stance, which many are interpreting will mean a few more rate cuts, not just one more. There were people telling us that bond yields can go even sub 6 in less than a year's time. What does that do to your view of NBFC stocks? What's your preference?
Now again, Lata, I think if I break up the NBFC stocks into three large components, NBFCs catering to housing finance, NBFCs catering to rural finance, transport finance, and NBFCs which have recently come up, which have a mix of microfinance component in them, and which also are looking at the small payment route. So if I break up these three, I think the housing finance companies have done exceptionally well. As a space, I think the cost of borrowing definitely comes down. You've seen a spate of NCDs come through, and with this capital raising that has probably taken place, I think the kind of advances growth that one really expects to take place with demand sustaining and improving in the system, anywhere between 18 to 20% on an average can take place for housing finance companies in terms of their advances as well as their earnings. For the rural transport finance companies or the equipment transport finance companies, the monsoons have been a blessing in disguise. So whatever had happened in terms of asset quality, in terms of recognition on their balance sheets, should start receding slowly and steadily downwards over the next few quarters. But one must really understand the valuations because a few stocks within the space have run up significantly. For the small payment bank and the microfinance companies, I think the space offers huge opportunities. And again, I think one must really understand for companies like Envikitas or Ujjivan, I think they are in the expansion mode. So you're going to see significant amount of capex and opex taking place, both in terms of resources and technology upgradation costs, taking the better part of the revenues or having a better part of the revenues being eaten up for the next few quarters. What this does on their ROAs and ROEs is that they will get compressed. So largely, I think if these stocks correct from the current levels, I think they become good buying opportunities, while housing finance companies, anybody who's bought into that from local level should continue holding on to these stocks.
Okay, Ashwini, a word on Reliance, because that was one stock which after a long time was doing well and has assumed leadership position, but even that's corrected almost 4% now. What are the charts indicating here?
Yesterday, oil also gave back its gains at the end. So if it can sustain 1070, 1080, maybe a bit of uptrend sustains. But once 1080 is given up on Reliance, I think it'll go back into its shell. Basically downside 980 and upside of about 1100.
Okay. Well, we have to take a mandatory break before the pre-market rates come in. We'll do that. We are coming back and we'll have more experts joining in. Manoj Muralidharan of Religare Securities.
Welcome back. It's interesting because if you look at the Asian screen and if you look at the SGX Nifty as well, it looks like the start is going to be in the green, but the key is where from here. 8793 is what we have on the SGX Nifty. Keep in mind that corresponds to the Nifty futures rate, not the spot rate. So you can adjust that and get a rate for the spot. And let's just also pull out the Asian markets because they are holding, some of the markets are holding their gains. 0.5% gain is a bit of a norm. So let's see if for us also we have 0.5% gain. But let's talk about the derivatives market. Today is also weekly options expiry for Bank Nifty. Here's Mangalam with futures now.
Indeed, Anuj, apart from the weekly options in Bank Nifty, no change in terms of derivatives action from the previous trading session. So the FI has bought about 154 crores in index futures, added about 4,700 long and 2,000 short contracts in index futures. The FII long position in index futures has fallen from 88% at the start of this series to 85% as we speak. Yesterday was a purchase in index options to the tune of 700 crores as well. Most of that attributed towards long build-up in index puts. 8,700 as well as 8,500 put levels saw some open interest build up, while 8,800 call, that one also added some shares in open interest, and the premium on that fell from 117 to about 99 rupees. The Nifty Bank, as you rightly spoke about, weekly options expiry, the maximum open interest is at the 20,000 call level and 19,000 put. However, there was a lot of action seen or selling seen in 19,700, 19,800 as well as 19,900 calls on the Bank Nifty. As far as stocks are concerned, the Tata Group stocks were buzzing around yesterday, so fresh buying seen in the likes of Tata Global Beverages and Tata Communications. At the same time, a huge open interest on the long side seen built up on Kaveri Seeds and McLeod Russell. The tire stocks also continue to see some buying interest, while a couple of stocks which were under pressure yesterday saw some selling pressure were the likes of IDFC Bank and CESC. Fresh shots seen there.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Mangalam. We still have a couple of minutes before the pre-opening rates come in, so let's invite Manoj Muralidharan of Religare Securities. Morning, Manoj. Is there a Nifty trade today?
Good morning, Lata. Lata, yes, there is a trade because if you see October is a small month if we compare expiry. I guess we just have 16 more days to expiry. And most important, the VIX has been fortunate at 17, 18 just before the event, and we are more or less at 15. So it becomes a good strangle. I would advocate selling an 89 call option. I guess it should be around 55 rupees. Sell it with a combination of an 8,600 put option around 43. So that gives you a premium close to 100 rupees. Keep a stop loss 130, and we're expecting a target of 50 on that.
Okay, Manoj, good morning. What are your stock ideas?
Good morning, Anuj. Anuj, I guess, we're looking into the rollover data, and I guess this is a month where FMCG and precisely it might be IT which might outperform when we are comparing for the entire month. So we like Marico. The stock is in good buying, and even the VWAP concept of buying has worked good on that. So we advocate buying at the current month futures as well. 283, you should buy that. The stop loss should be, let's say, a 278, and we're expecting a target close to 300 to 302 on that. Grasim from the cement sector is also a buy. I guess 49.60 should be the levels where you can buy that on the current month futures. A 30-40 rupees on the downside, let's say a 49.20 should be the stop loss, and we're expecting a target of close to 5080 on that.
Okay, that's a bunch of stocks to look at. There are some important statements coming in from Ajit Gulabchand as well. Speaking about the infrastructure space being improving, but improvement very slow. Actually, one good way of knowing whether the economy is doing well is to just look at the bunch of news coming in. We've got so much of good news, flashing on from the consumer sector in terms of pre-festive sales, people talking about investment opportunities in India, the foreign investors, and now infrastructure. At least we're not hearing further bad news.
Yes.
If anything, we're hearing good news. So probably we are going to see the first instance of an earnings season that will start reflecting it sooner or later. Just a minute more before we start to trade. Mayuresh, very quickly, any thoughts on any of the consumer names, or have they run up enough?
Again, I think the run-up was quite sharp, Lata, and the valuations have always been trading at a premium to their peers as well as the markets. But largely, I think the story here is to stay. So in my opinion, I think the volume growth is something that will pick up significantly over the next few years. And
Okay, I think there's a problem with that audio, but we will set that right in just a minute. Sorry, Mitesh, is there any specific stock that you will watch out in the Nifty itself? You have largely been playing the mid caps.
See, I think, I've been looking at some of the tech stocks, there's a good chance that we'll see some kind of reversal. I think HCL Tech and Wipro, I think both have been on my list, watch list for some time. I think HCL Tech, if it starts closing above 820, I think that could possibly try and retest levels of 855, 860. Low beta pack, but I think a very safe trade, I think, in terms of risk and reward.
Okay, just about 8 seconds left for pre-open rates to tickle in, and let's wait for them because it's going to be an interesting day. The global markets are positive, so today could be a bit of a test of markets texture. If the gap up is sold into, there is likely to be a minor gap up. At least that's what the SGX Nifty indicated, not yet indicated by the Nifty, but that will correct. Of course, there are a couple of bizarre rates on Aurobindo Pharma and Yes Bank and even Axis Bank. They'll correct, but let's see. I mean, for now, let's focus on some of the stocks which look a bit believable. Larsen is up about 1%. Hindalco is up about close to 1%. Bharti Airtel looks like could be in for a decent start. And looks like PSU banks could be in for a decent start, Lata. Maybe driven by the comment from Mr. Lavasa. Or in general, you have seen a bit of a bonhomie in the PSU banks, even though private banks are sulking. So that could keep the screen a bit active.
I would think that positive response was warranted from what the Reserve Bank said. And now these ideas of pragmatic approach to NPA, a word I don't like. But in any case, let's see how they should have reacted already. None of this is new. They are 48 hours with the market. There's no particular reason why they should react now. As Ashwini has been pointing out, if anything, there is a bit of fatigue and greater fatigue in the banking stocks. So let's wait and see. The PSU banks have not done as badly as the private banks in the last 24 hours. That's the rupee opening. Well, it's a tad weaker. There has been a dollar strength, but it's like just a few pies, not even worth mentioning. So flat opening for the rupee, and the stocks are now showing a bit of more realism in the numbers. The big cuts in the Yes banks and the Axis. Okay, Yes is still showing an 8.5% cut. I doubt it's going to be punished so much, but let's wait and see. It's already lost a goodish bit. I wonder if it really merits such punishment. Ashwini, is there a technical position in Yes Bank?
Excuse me, I didn't get you.
Yes Bank, is there a trade there?